Hey everyone, it's your girl Nisi here with Wild Pear Tarot. Thanks so much for tuning in to my YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm a tarot and oracle reader, also an alchemist and a light worker. I mainly do celebrity readings, but I also do channeled messages and pick a pile readings for the collective. Thanks so much for tuning in. All right, so we are doing part 2 of my reading on Chris Brown. We're focusing on his music and business. So first, let's get started. So part 1 was focused on his love life and fatherhood. So part 2, we're focusing on his music career and his business. I believe he has a clothing company called Black Pyramid. So the decks that I'm using for this reading, I'm only using 2 decks. The first is the Tarot of the Divine deck by Yoshi Yoshitani. Go cop that, y'all. If you're able to, go cop it. And then the next deck that I'm using is the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. Beautiful deck by Colette Baron Reed. All right. So Chris Brown's music career is, I mean, some people will already consider him a legend, or at least, you know, an icon as far as the amount of music that he's put out, the awards that he's received over the years. His musicianship is, I mean, actually it's amazing. I mean, you can't deny his artistry, his talent. He's a singer, he's a songwriter, he's a musician, he's a dancer, he's an artist, and he's able to meld all of these different talents together to, you know, he's kind of a multi-hyphenate artist. I mean, to be honest, he's a multi-hyphenate artist. So let's see what's going on in terms of his music career. Most people know that his music kind of focuses on pop, R&B, and hip-hop. It's just kind of a mix of those three. He started out in the pop genre, but definitely moved into R&B. You know, he does a little bit of rapping, and of course, I mean, he's very well loved in the hip-hop community. He's done a lot of collabs with a lot of huge, you know, big name artists such as himself, you know, or like himself, Drake, right? He's done some mixtape collab albums with Tyga and recently with Young Thug. He's done, you know, he's been on a lot of features with like Davido, who does Afrobeats. Who else? I mean, he's done music with Nicki Minaj, of course, Rihanna, Diddy, DJ Khaled. I mean, Tank. I don't think he's done any music with J. Cole. No, I must be mistaken on that. Justin Bieber. I mean, Zayn Malik. We can just go down the list, y'all. Okay, he's well known. A lot of people love him and love his music. So let's get into what's happening with him in his music career right now, and what's up ahead for him. Spirit, can you provide some insight into his music career currently? What's going on with him and his music? And any insight onto what we can see in the future from him musically. All right. Thank you, Spirit. Ooh. All right. Any Chris Brown fans out there? I know some of y'all Chris Brown fans have been watching my videos. All right. Let me know what you think in the comments, okay? All right. What's going on musically with him? Thank you, Spirit. Okay. We're going to see this at the end. This is kind of like his future stuff. All right. We got the Star card. The Four of Wands. The Eight of Wands. And the Ten of Swords. Wow. Okay. So Spirit is telling me, Spirit's telling me he's going to be having some legal trouble. Musically, he's in his pocket, y'all. The Star card coming out is Spirit's telling me resonance. Resonance is the word when it associated with kind of this reading or his music, his musical gifts, his musical talents. He's a star, okay? Like a little, you know, like he is a star. He's a celebrity. And he has gotten his fame from his musicality, from his talents, his musical talents and gifts, and that will always shine. It's prevalent, and it resonates with his core, with his being. You see how the woman is, or the young girl, she's like holding this baby lamb and looking up into the sky and kind of seeing the star kind of illuminating her whole thing and her whole path around her. You see the forest, you see the, the garden here with all the flowers, and her toe is dipped right by the water, right? He's spiritually guided. He is at his core very in tune. He is in tune with music. Like it resonates in his soul and in his being, and it's very strong. It's very prominent in how he carries himself, how he studies music. You know, he studies it and practices it. I think there was a clip that I had seen when I had done the first, I think it was when I had recorded the first part 1 of Chris Brown's reading, and he had done an interview with Fat Joe, and he admitted to recording over 50,000 songs. Like, that's really how hard he goes. Like, he studies and practices music. He is a student of music. He is a leader in music. He is an expert in music, and that is just prevalent. It's part of his core. It's part of his being. It's part of his core. And so that will always be a guiding light for him, a guiding star for him. Whenever he feels down, whenever he feels lost, whenever he feels emotionally like down, or any problems that he feels like he goes through, music is his channel, is his way of self-expression, of expressing how he feels, what he wants, his desires, his losses, his lacks, his insecurities. Like, he pours his heart into his music. So when he tells, he usually says that in his interviews. Believe him when he says that, because it's accurate. This star card is representative of that. It's just spirit. I'm spirit saying it's like primal. It's just part of his nature. Music is very much part of his core and his soul essence. The problems, though, here that I'm seeing, there's issues here, though, in terms of how his music is managed. He's had to fight a lot. He's had to fight a lot for things in the music industry over the years. Like, he peeped game. Like, I'm hearing him say this. He's like, I peeped game over the years, and it's interesting. That's an interesting description, Spirit. I mean, he's like, he really had to carry a cross, or like carry a burden of trying to like build his own empire, his own music empire, his own wealth. Like, he really had to, because in the very beginning, he didn't have people around him who truly knew the business in the very beginning. And he had to learn over the years into his adulthood. He started as a child. He started, 15, 16 years old in the music industry. And then he maneuvered and moved up with his hits and stuff like that. And then, of course, he had some setbacks with his situation with Rihanna. But he overcame them. His music and the music that he put out was still able to propel him in a different direction, but it still propelled him. But how spirits tell me in the recent 3 years, management, whoever's been managing him hasn't been doing what they say they're going to do. So expect some kind of legal battle. Spirit, as soon as I turned these cards over, Spirit was like, legal troubles, legal troubles, legal troubles. 4 of Wands in reverse. So 4 of Wands is usually, this is supposed to represent structure, stability, foundation, right? You see, the man and the woman, and they're obviously, it looks like a marriage, right? It looks like a marriage. This is in reverse. So there's some instability here. There's some foundational issues. And Spirit is telling me this is in regards to management. Somebody in his team is not doing, Spirit saying, doing him dirty or not doing what they're supposed to be doing in terms of error, making sure that the ways in which he's able to acquire money from his music and put out music frequently, it's not being managed properly. It's supposed to be error-free. Spirit's saying error-free, or as little to no errors as possible in terms of the legal process, right? Because there's a legal process involved when you're creating music. Sampling, if you're using any sampling, contractual agreements that have to be had. You're paying for studio time. You're paying for musicians. You're paying yourself. You're paying for people to be in the room as you're recording. You're paying for recording sessions and studio time. You're paying for marketing for the music, for it to be on, these platforms, on the radio, like promotion. I mean, there's just levels to music just being put out there, right? And he has a machine behind him. I think he was always signed with RCA. And he's just had, so he's never been an independent artist. He's always had a machine behind him, or a big record label behind him who has supported him. I think he has all his masters, but there's something going on in the management level that I'm actually seeing a man and a woman, and it may even involve his mom. But there's something going on where management is not doing what they're supposed to be doing to make sure that, I's are dotted, T's are crossed, there's no errors, making sure that he understands the language of the contractual agreements that he's signing, making sure that his music his music properties are managed as far as like any production he does, any videography he does for the music, right? Because he plays a really integral role in video production. He oftentimes shoots his own videos, edits his videos, and comes up with like the concepts. So the past 3 years, there's actually been some issues, and there have been people on the sidelines who have been noticing it, and they've been bringing it to his attention, but I think he's been kind of like swatting it away, like, it's not that big of a deal, we'll worry about it later. But now it's starting to crack. It's starting to have issues in the foundation of his music empire and what he's created over the years. So expect some legal troubles. 8 of Wands. Spirit's saying he's going to be doing less and less interviews over the years. Less and less interviews. He just wants to focus on music. Like he's 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands in reverse here. So Eight of Wands is showing, it's like Spirit's telling me he's going to be talking less. He's going to be talking less and just showing more, like putting out his music more. I don't see him doing interviews, maybe like once a year, once or twice a year. It's just not going to be as frequently as he had done in the past. He's not really a fan of interviews, of like doing media interviews and really being in the media like that. He just wants to focus. Spirit's saying like he lives in the studio and he just wants to focus on like, Spirit's actually saying he wants to focus on partying and just like enjoying himself and making music from that. This Eight of Wands here, you see how it's upright? If it's upright and this bird is carrying this torch or the wand, excuse me, with the fire, and you see all the other wands kind of going in the same direction. There's somebody in his camp who's misguiding him, Spirit's saying. There's somebody in his camp who's not guiding him in the right direction in order for him to achieve the music goals that he wants in his career. There's somebody in his team. And I'm seeing a man. I'm seeing like a heavy-set man who is a heavy-set man, and he's just like, he's persuading him in a wrong direction. He's persuading him to move forward in the wrong way. Spirit's saying he may release music on OnlyFans. I know he just joined OnlyFans, y'all. He just joined that, and I know OnlyFans is not limited to like, you know, most people I'm not gonna say most people on OnlyFans, but OnlyFans is a platform used for, you know, a lot of different things. If you want to show your artistry, or if you want to, you know, basically people are paying you to do different things. There's a significant percentage of people on there that do sex work, but for him, I think it's also an opportunity for him to promote his music. So if there's any like music on there, let you see that maybe he's like, oh, I'm shooting a music video, or like something where he's going to be sharing more. It's like another platform for him to like share information about his music in addition to like other things. Yeah. That OnlyFans is going to be, he's going to be wilding out. He's going to be wilding out. I mean, Spirit's told me like busty bimbos. Like it's wild. He's going to be wilding out on OnlyFans. I'll just leave it at that. He's going to be wilding out. But he may even try to put out some of his music on there, or like show off something that he's working on, some of his projects. I am hearing that he may even be on a soundtrack coming up. He may be on a soundtrack for a movie. Someone has approached him about a soundtrack for a film coming up that he's going to be on. That's interesting. I'm hearing Bond, but I don't know if that's James Bond. We'll see. But that'd be really interesting. But I think someone approached him about a soundtrack, and he's considering it. He may record a song and do something for that. But it's like he's contemplating whether or not he wants to write a song for the soundtrack. He may do it, or maybe do some production, or maybe write a song for someone. He may be writing a song for someone for the soundtrack. I'm seeing this Ten of Swords, right? This is the second time it showed up in his reading. If you go back to part 1 of my Chris Brown reading on love and fatherhood, the Ten of Swords came out when I was focusing on Chris Brown and Rihanna and their feelings towards each other and what was happening, what was the current energy around their situation. And the Ten of Swords came out. And it's interesting how it came out here again. This to me is this is betrayal. Like this Ten of Swords here, and it's upright. So it's not like, This is upright, man. Damn. He's there are some there's some snakes around him. There's some people around him who have betrayed him or are betraying him currently, and maybe even Rihanna had warned him about it, and he's about to suffer greatly. I just unfortunately, this Ten of Swords is like, there's going to be some music challenges coming up ahead for him. This Ten of Swords it's like this, it's so interesting how I'm seeing the layout of this spread here. The problem is that he has all of this energy, right? He has all of this star energy, this hopeful, this brilliance about him when it comes to his musicality. But then in terms of the foundation, in terms of the messaging, in terms of the people who are around him and near him and helping him, or who are supposed to be inspiring him to create and helping him to make sure that his shit is together, his finances are in order, his marketing is in order, his, like, all these aspects of the music business, because it's a business at the end of the day. You can put out music, but you got to, you know, if you're trying to make this into a career, that means you're trying to live off the music that you create. And so there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of different things involved when it comes to music. And he has trouble with management. He has trouble with the people around him who are persuading him to go in a direction that is antithetical or against what he knows, what he at his core is used to creating, and coming from that space of knowing, that intuitiveness. And so loss, betrayal, people, you know, stabbing him in the back, people taking from him, people are trying to and succeeding. And I'm just seeing music challenges up ahead for him. There may be someone he's going to cut ties with, we'll see, but I just, it's really unfortunate, and I don't know why I keep bringing unfortunate. I keep saying unfortunate because, like, his reading, even from the first reading to the second one, there's similar energies here where it's like the first reading was him repeating karmic cycles in his life and him not being able to learn the lessons that he needed to move forward, to properly integrate the lessons he's learned. You know, yes, addressing the harm that he has caused, because he has caused harm to a lot of women, a lot of the women that he was romantically connected to. Addressing the harm he caused, forgiving himself for the harm he caused, healing from that, moving forward from that, and trying to be a better man, trying to be a better person, trying to be a better father. He's struggling with fatherhood as well, and it's like music is usually his guiding light. Like, spiritually, he's very connected and tuned in. But it's the people around him, and then him kind of allowing these people to stay is causing breakdowns in his foundation, a lack of direction, a lack of communication, like really being targeted in his communication, and then loss because of betrayal, because the people around him, you know, I saw Amika, that girl does not believe in him. So he's around her, that energy, when that energy starts to infiltrate, when you have people around you that don't believe in you or pretend to be with you and only want something from you, unfortunately, that's going to start to infiltrate and affect you and be a hindrance to you. It's something he needs to be mindful of. And it's part of him, again, like him not addressing the karmic cycles, and he is just repeating them. He's repeating the same shit. Unfortunately, and that's what happens in life, y'all. You know, one of the reasons why I do celebrity readings, it's interesting, is for people to really see, like, these people are human beings, y'all. Like, they go through similar shit that we do. A lot of them are struggling, are suffering, and are dealing with some hard shit. Yes, they have way more money than probably we would have or amass, but they struggle, and they have issues on the spiritual level, on the emotional level, on the mental level. They struggle. They're in, you know, the entertainment industry and these type of businesses that are not always centered in fairness and in truth, and they have to navigate that in addition to, you know, just figuring out their lives, you know, like figuring out themselves. And when you're in the public eye trying to do that as well, it can be really difficult. So, you know, I can offer empathy, but this is spirit talking though, you know, like this is spirit coming through with what's going on energetically. Things can change, of course, you know, people make choices every day that can shift outcomes. But particularly for Chris, he is still going through similar things that he has gone through like 5 years ago. I would say even 10 years ago. And it's going to continue to circle unless he deals with it. We're going to wrap this up, y'all, by talking about his clothing company and then just kind of the future of business or anything else in his life as far as his career that we may want to, you know, kind of see. All right, Spirit. Can you please provide some insight on how he's doing with his clothing company, Spirit, with Black Pyramid? Thank you, Spirit. What's happening with Black Pyramid? How is he doing as far as his business? Thank you. Also with music, collaborations are going to continue. I'm hearing the song, Take It Easy. That song that, ooh, cards dropping. Hold up. All right. I'm seeing more collaborations. I mean, people love to collaborate with Chris because he is open and very supportive of young and up and coming artists. He understands. And part of his, like, he's a young kid at heart. I think people always recognize that about him. So the energy is like, he's always going to want to collaborate with people. He's very selective though. He's very selective. He's all about good vibes when he's connecting with, you know, and collaborating with other artists. He's all about really good vibes and making really good music, great music that people will love and enjoy. And he puts his heart and soul into it. So he's selective when it comes to collabs, but he can sense hits. Like, again, that star card coming out is like, he just knows, you know, he has good energy when it comes to music, y'all. He just has a star quality. It's just what it is. You know? So expect more collaborations from him. That's not going to stop, of course. All right, let me shuffle one more time because Spirit only told me to shuffle 5 times. All right. How is he doing with Black Pyramid? I keep hearing that song with Danny Lee, the Take It Easy. The Take It Easy song. Just relax your mind. That song, the Take It Easy song. Has she modeled any clothes from him for Black Pyramid? Because, oh, all right. So for Black Pyramid, we got the Sun card in reverse. Page of Wands. There are copycats. Spirit's telling me there's like an overshadowing of his company because there are copycats. So there are so many other people like trying to copy his swag, trying to copy his style, trying to copy like his ideas. And because they're a little bit cheaper, some people are like, "Oh, let me go over here." His name doesn't carry as much weight in fashion that it does in music. Like, music is just his core. That's his core, as I mentioned before. So when I see overshadowing here and the sun is reversed, so oftentimes it's like what is being shown. You know, when you see the sun upright, it usually is about illumination, you know, happiness, joy, you know, full-on expression, happiness. And I feel like this is blocked here. There's some blocks as far as, and it could even be messaging or just like the core of what Black Pyramid is that some people don't always, it's like people just don't always fully understand. I think his core fans, like the people that rock with him, are going to rock with him regardless. They're going to be going back to the drawing board. Expect something new from Black Pyramid in the next year or so. They're going to be going back to the drawing board to kind of see what they can create. It's like them trying to find a new spark, a new idea. They're trying to see what new ideas can we come up with? What other ways can we show this type of street, you know, type of clothing? Because I think they do like streetwear. So like sweats and jackets and stuff like that, shirts and things like that. And this Page of Wands is showing that it's like they're really kind of at a base level. They're really at a base level. So we're gonna see, like, there's really great promise here though with the Black Pyramid, as far as it growing, but it's being overshadowed by other companies. Black Pyramid it's being overshadowed by other companies. Other people just aren't rocking with it as much as other companies that are way more prominent. He still makes money from it. I think they're going to go back to the drawing board and see what else they can do. I even might see them like try to do like, you know, a full-on like fashion show. I'm thinking of that, like that image is coming to me like an online fashion show. And like just broadening their horizons when it comes to what else they could step into. So that's what it's looking like as far as this situation. All right, so let's get into the Spirit Animal Oracle deck and wrap up this reading. Let's see what messages Spirit has in regards to Chris Brown, and just the energy. Spirit, can you give us more insight or some more impressions on what's happening with him energetically and what's to come for him in the future, or something that maybe he needs to heal from or focus on? Thank you, Spirit. I just keep hearing that song by Danny Lay. Oh, Lord. My bad, y'all, if I'm fucking up the name of the artist. She did that collab with Chris Brown, the Take It Easy song. That was a huge hit on the radio. Oh, my God. That song was played nonstop on the damn radio. So, I think he's really trying to just chill the fuck out more. He's just trying to live life a little bit more easier. He's still going to have his fun. He wants to party and stuff. Like, he still wants to do all those things. But he's trying to live life a little bit easier and less stress. Like, you know. I think it's because he has 2 kids now. And it's like, he's thinking about legacy. He's thinking about his future. That Young Thug collab is interesting. See? Oh, yep. All right. So he has the Ant Spirit, time to collaborate with that message. And the Giraffe Spirit, see the big picture. This is going to be coming up, Spirit is telling me, over the next 3 years. This is something that he is going to be struggling with, but he's also going to come out in a better way. Spirit is saying, yes, it's time to collaborate, but it's collaborating with the right people. It's being, sometimes he's just not always around people. It's him trying to be around the right people in his life that is going to help him grow. He's just that's just gonna be a reoccurring thing. I think that he needs to trust in that the people that he needs is gonna find him, or that he's gonna find his tribe. He has yet to find his tribe of people, or it's time for him to look for new people in his life. He needs to be around people who are going to support his dreams, support his well-being, who believes in him, believes in who he is as a man, who he wants to become as a man, as a father, as a musician, and to support that. The people around him right now are just not attuned with his highest self, his higher level self, the person that he's trying to grow into even more. We are always learning, we're always growing and moving forward, if we choose to do that. If not, we're going to remain in the cycle until we learn the lesson and integrate it into our life. He has yet to do that. And so, as I mentioned before, and I'm going to keep repeating it because that's just what the cards are showing me and the energy that Spirit is showing me. For Chris, it's time for him to collaborate with the right people. He needs new partnerships, new collabs, a new tribe of people, new friends, a new family, a new musical family. And I'm not talking about his mom, y'all. I'm talking about like better management. His friendships gotta shift, gotta change. Like that has to shift for him. And then for him to see the big picture. Sometimes he can be a bit of a control freak. See the big picture. It's sometimes he needs to step out and look from a widescreen perspective. Spirit is saying. Sometimes he gets overwhelmed by all the little details. And I think because he's an artist, like he looks at those things. He looks at those things. And I think it's for him, his perspective has to change. He has, when you think of the giraffe, right? This is someone, I'm looking at the guidebook, but this is somebody when you look at a giraffe, right, you notice why he's elongated. This is a very tall animal. So they're able to see things at a much higher level and a much higher view than other people are. So for him, his perspective needs to change. His outlook needs to change in terms of his life, his livelihood, and what he can do and what he can change. I think sometimes he thinks that it's too late. It's too late for him to change his persona. Or just to change how people perceive him. And it's not about them. You know, he needs to still remember that it's not about other people. It's about you, what you think about yourself, how you feel about yourself, and that will shine through. That will present itself into the world. I think also he also needs to make sure that he's more grounded. He's more firmly planted. But he needs to see from a higher perspective. And then sometimes he needs to just see what's around him. And this is part of him collaborating with the right people. When he can stop and look and see what's around him, who's around him, who and what is around him, then he can start to be like, okay, this is not okay. Or like, this person told me this, but like this didn't work out when I took his advice and like this didn't pan out. So what now? It's like he really needs to take a step back and look at the big picture. Like look and see in surveying, his personal landscape. What is happening in his life right now that is generating negativity or generating setbacks or generating losses, or where people are, being not being honest, or people around him that don't believe in him. It's like, he really needs to take a step back and look and survey what's going on around him in his life. And he needs to start to pick apart those things and leave it behind. He has to leave that shit behind. Otherwise, it's just going to be the same old Same old shit. That's what it is, y'all. All right. That was part 2 of Chris Brown's reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And please comment below. Let me know what you thought. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. More videos on the way, not just celeb readings, but also channeled messages and pick up power readings for the collective. So be sure be sure to tune in to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Nisi here. All right, and I'm gonna catch y'all later. Bye.